It's been more than 40 years since Elvis Presley left the world behind. Yet somehow the story of the king keeps growing, deeper, more mysterious and more human. And now, a discovery inside Graceland, his legendary home, has changed everything we thought we knew about him. Hidden beneath layers of time and secrecy, a vault has finally been opened, one that remained sealed since 1977. Inside, not just memorabilia, but a window into the heart and soul of Elvis Presley himself. This is the untold story of the hidden vault of the King of Rock and Roll. What was found inside will leave you speechless. Before we begin, if you love uncovering lost history, music legends, and emotional true stories, make sure to subscribe to Vintage Vision and join our growing community of fans. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you helps us keep stories like this alive. So hit that button, tap the bell, and let's step back in time together. Chapter 1. The day the music stopped, August 16, 1977. Graceland is quiet. The fans outside have no idea what's happening behind those famous white gates. Inside, Elvis Presley, the voice that changed the world, is gone. The man who filled stadiums, broke records, and redefined music had passed away at just 42 years old. The news spread like wildfire. Television anchors choked on their words. Fans cried in the streets of Memphis. And in that moment, the world didn't just lose a performer, it lost a piece of its soul. But deep inside Graceland, something else happened that night. A decision was made to seal away one private room in the mansion's lower level. Only a handful of trusted people knew it existed, and over time, even that memory faded. The door was locked, cataloged, and buried in the quiet of history. They called it Elvis's Vault. Chapter 2. Whispers in the walls. For decades, fans whispered about what might be inside. Some claimed it was filled with unreleased recordings. Others said letters to Priscilla or Lisa Marie. A few even believed Elvis was writing a secret book about his life, one that would reveal the man behind the myth, but no one could prove. Graceland became a museum, a place of pilgrimage for millions. Still, one section of the basement was always off limits. No one asked questions. No one dared to open that final door until 2023. That's when restoration teams working on the property discovered an old reinforced door, sealed with a metal latch and marked in faded paint, EP 1977, private. The workers contacted the Presley estate immediately. What happened next would take months of planning, permissions, and security protocols. When the door finally swung open, the air that escaped was cold, untouched by time. Inside was a single room, small, quiet, and packed floor to ceiling with boxes, tapes, notebooks, and photographs. Every item carefully placed, as if Elvis himself had intended to return someday. Chapter 3. The lost tapes archivists began sorting through the contents. Most boxes were labeled by hand: home rehearsals, private recordings, gospel, personal. Among them was a reel-to-reel tape marked Echoes of Home. When they played it, silence filled the room. And then came a voice, soft, soulful, unmistakably Elvis Presley. He was singing a gospel hymn no one had ever heard before. No instruments, no backup singers, just Elvis, raw, fragile, and heartbreakingly sincere. Experts later confirmed it was recorded in early 1977, just months before his death. A private session, done entirely for himself. The lyrics spoke of forgiveness, peace, and redemption. Words that echoed the struggles of a man trying to find meaning after fame. This wasn't the king of rock and roll. This was Elvis, the man from Tupelo, praying with his voice. Chapter 4. The letters. Nobody knew about. But then came something even more personal. Inside a leather binder were letters, hundreds of them, addressed to friends, fans, and family, Some were joyful, full of humor and warmth. Others were deeply emotional. One letter, dated August 10, 1977, stunned historians. It read, "If anything happens to me, know that I did it all for love. For them, for you, for the music. But I wish I had found peace sooner." Signed simply, EP, those words stopped everyone in their tracks. It was a man looking back on his life, aware of how fragile it had become. For decades, fans wondered if Elvis knew the end was near. This letter suggested maybe he did. Chapter 5. The gospel album that never was, as they continued to explore the vault. Archivists found something extraordinary, a collection of notes, musical sketches, and unfinished lyrics. At the top of one page, in Elvis's handwriting, were the words, "Heavenly Road." It appeared to be the title for a gospel album, one that was never recorded or released. The notes included song ideas, names of musicians, and scripture references. Experts believe Elvis planned to return to gospel music in the months after his final tour, a musical homecoming to the roots that first gave him strength. And when fragments of the tapes were restored, the melodies matched the notes. It was real. Heavenly Road could have been Elvis Presley's final masterpiece, a farewell to fame and a return to faith. Chapter 6. A man, not a myth beyond the recordings and letters, the vault contained something far more powerful. Truth. Old journals, filled with Elvis's handwriting. Quotes, reflections, prayers. In one small notebook, he wrote, "People see the gold, but not the cost. I just wanted to sing, not be a statue." That one line revealed more than any documentary ever could. Behind the rhinestones and fame was a human being who simply loved music. A man overwhelmed by the weight of his own legend. And in this vault, for the first time, that man was finally free again. Chapter 7. The photograph. At the very bottom of a storage chest was a small velvet box. Inside it lay a simple gold cross and a black and white photo of Elvis as a boy, holding his mother Gladys's hand. Attached was a note that read, "I'll see you soon, Mama." That single image, that tender connection, said more than any gold record ever could. For Elvis Presley, fame was fleeting. But love, that stayed forever. Chapter 8. The legacy lives on today. The contents of the vault are being preserved at Graceland for future public display. Each item tells a story, not of superstardom, but of humanity. When visitors walk through Graceland now, they don't just see a museum. They feel the heartbeat of a man who never stopped searching for home. And through this vault, Elvis has spoken one final time. He reminds us that even the biggest legends are human, that beneath every hit song, every screaming crowd, every spotlight, there's someone who just wants to be loved, understood, and remembered. Chapter 9. The eternal song when experts played the final recovered tape, a haunting version of Heavenly Road, something magical happened. People cried, because for a brief moment, it felt as if the king had returned. His voice, soft, reflective, full of gratitude, filled the room. It wasn't about fame anymore. It was about peace, and when the song ended, there was silence. The kind of silence that only comes when a soul has finally found rest. Elvis's story has always been larger than life, but in the quiet of that hidden vault, he was no longer a king. He was just Elvis, a man, a dreamer, a son, a father, and an artist who gave everything, until there was nothing left to give. Chapter 10. The promise of the past. So what does this discovery mean for us today? It means we can finally see Elvis Presley not as a distant icon, but as one of us, flawed, beautiful, searching. It means that after 40 years, we're still learning from him, not just how to sing, but how to feel, how to believe, and how to endure. And it means that music, true music, never dies. It just waits, hidden in a vault, until the world is ready to listen again. Outro, a message to our viewers. If this story moved you, if it reminded you why legends like Elvis Presley still matter, then please, take a moment to subscribe to Vintage Vision. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and every one of you makes a real difference. Your support keeps stories like this alive, stories that inspire, touch hearts, and connect generations. Hit that subscribe button right now. Leave a comment below. Tell us what Elvis song changed your life, and share this video so more people can discover the truth behind the legend. Because together, we're not just watching history and we're keeping it alive. This is Vintage Vision, where every memory has music, every vault has a secret, and every legend lives forever. Thank you for watching, and then remember, the king may be gone, but the song will always play on. They said the king took his secrets to the grave, but after 40 long years, something extraordinary has been uncovered. Inside a sealed vault beneath Graceland, untouched since the 1970s, lies a treasure trove that no one believed even existed. A discovery so shocking, so personal, it's rewriting everything we thought we knew about Elvis Presley, from lost recordings to hidden letters, from secret love notes to a mysterious final message. This is not just about fame or fortune. It's about the soul of the man behind the legend. And tonight we open the vault. Welcome to Vintage Vision, where the past comes alive and legends never die. Our story begins on a humid August evening in 1977. The lights of Graceland glow softly through the Memphis night. Fans crowd the gates, unaware that inside, the greatest rock and roll icon of all time is taking his final breaths. Elvis Presley, the king, is gone. But even as the world mourned, whispers began almost immediately. Rumors of a sealed room beneath Graceland, a vault that Elvis himself ordered locked just days before his death. Some say it contained unfinished music. Others believed it held personal letters, financial documents, or even secret recordings. But no one truly knew. Because after August 16, 1977, the door was sealed. And for decades, no one dared to open it. Graceland became a shrine. Millions visited every year to pay their respects. But deep beneath the mansion, the vault remained untouched, guarded, cataloged, but never disturbed until now. In 2023, with the permission of the Presley family and the Graceland estate, restoration crews began working on a full historical preservation of the property. That's when they found it. A reinforced door behind an old storage wall covered in dust marked simply EP 1977 Private. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Elvis community. Was this the legendary vault that fans had spoken of for years? Was this where Elvis hid his most intimate possessions? It took months of planning, legal clearance, and historical verification before anyone could even approach it. And when they finally turned the heavy handle, the air that escaped was still, cold, and untouched by time. Inside lay history frozen in silence, stacks of reel-to-reel tapes, old notebooks, Polaroid photographs, and one small leather-bound Bible, worn at the edges, marked with notes written in Elvis's own hand. A lifetime captured in dust and quiet devotion. Among the first items cataloged was a tape labeled Echoes of Home. Experts carefully restored and digitized it. And what they heard left them speechless. A voice, unmistakably Elvis's, singing a gospel melody never before heard by the public. Soft, unproduced, pure emotion. No background instruments, no studio effects, just the raw voice of a man searching for peace. Music historians confirmed the tape was recorded in early 1977, just months before his death. The song was about redemption, loneliness, and faith. It was Elvis stripped of fame and fortune, just a man and his voice, crying out to something greater. But the vault held more than just music. There were letters, some addressed to his daughter, Lisa Marie, others to friends, and a few to women known only by their initials. One letter in particular stunned everyone. It was dated August 10, 1977, 6 days before he died. The words read, "If anything happens to me, know that I did it all for love and for them, for you, for the music. But I wish I had found peace sooner." No signature, just EP in blue ink. That simple note reignited endless questions about Elvis's final days, his exhaustion, his spiritual struggle, and his longing for something beyond fame. By 1977, friends said Elvis was tired of being Elvis Presley, the global icon. He wanted to go back to being Elvis, the man from Tupelo. And this vault, this secret chamber, revealed exactly that. It didn't show a superstar's ego. It showed a soul searching for meaning. Archivists uncovered hundreds of personal photographs, moments never meant for the public eye. Elvis laughing with old friends, Elvis on horseback in the Tennessee hills, and Elvis sitting alone at a piano, a cigarette burning beside him, a single bulb overhead. Each image whispered the same truth. Behind the legend was a lonely man with a heart full of dreams. But then came the biggest surprise of all. A sealed envelope marked "Private for Vernon Presley only." Inside were handwritten pages, song lists, musical notations, and personal notes, outlining Elvis's plans for a final gospel album. The title written at the top, "Heavenly Road," music experts later pieced together fragments from the tapes in the vault. To their amazement, they found rough recordings that matched several of the listed songs. It became clear Elvis had been planning one last musical statement, a return to his gospel roots, where his heart had always belonged. The discovery shook the music world. Producers, historians, and lifelong fans gathered to restore what they could from those tapes. And when the first reconstructed song played, Elvis's voice rang out once more, fragile yet divine. It was as if time itself stopped. The world was hearing Elvis Presley again, not as a performer, but as a man. Vulnerable, reflective, real. Beyond the music, the vault contained fragments of his private thoughts, small journals filled with handwriting, musings on life, fame, and faith. In one he wrote, "People see the gold, but they don't see the cost. I just wanted to sing, not be a statue." That one line said everything. It was the confession of a man trapped by his own creation, loved by millions, yet longing for freedom. For decades, the myth of Elvis overshadowed the man. But inside this vault, hidden beneath the weight of 40 years, his truth was finally set free. The last item discovered was a small velvet box. Inside lay a simple gold cross and a photograph, a young Elvis holding his mother Gladys's hand. Attached was a tiny note that read, "I'll see you soon, Mama." That image of the boy from Tupelo, clutching a memory of his mother, reminded the world that Elvis Presley, the legend, was also just a son, a dreamer, and a man who never stopped missing home. Today, the vault's contents are being preserved and prepared for public display. Soon, fans will walk through the same doors, see the same objects, and perhaps feel the same emotion that filled that quiet room when it was first opened. But the true treasure isn't the tapes, the photos, or even the letters. It's the revelation of who Elvis truly was. Beyond the fame, beyond the crown, Elvis Presley was not just the king of rock and roll. He was a believer, a dreamer, a man who gave his everything to music and lost himself somewhere along the way. And now, after 40 years, the vault has spoken. Through the tapes, the letters, and the songs, Elvis's voice lives again. He reminds us that legends never really die. They simply wait, patiently cow for the world to listen once more. And when the vault closed again, there was silence. A silence that carried peace. Because now we know, the king's story isn't over. It's just begun anew. This is vintage vision, where history breathes again, and where the past still has a voice. Because when the past whispers, we listen.